Emily Dickinson's I'm Wife, Social Limitations of Women by Orlethea Morgan. Here's Emily Dickinson's poem, I'm Wife, a poem that we've been reading in class. Three claims made by Dickinson in her poem. Claim number one is the identity of a woman is in a man, and Dickinson says this by saying, I'm Tsar, I'm woman now, in line 3. Tsar is a male Russian dictator, and according to William Blackstone's social contract construct of that time, this is typical of a woman to lose her identity in the man because he states that a woman and her children both belong to the man and she cannot own property. Another claim is life changes once one becomes wife, and Dickinson states this by saying how odd the girl's life looks behind the soft eclipse in lines 5 and 6. An eclipse is something that shades something else from view or hinders something from view. So when she says how odd the girl's life looks behind this soft eclipse, because the girl is not wife, she has a different view of the world and her life. The third claim is being a wife is comforting and does not need to be compared to the state of girl. In line 12, Dickinson says, but why compare? I'm wife. Stop there. Um, and that's the ultimate achievement for a woman at that time was to become a wife and live under the influence of a strong husband. A husband finds his, a woman finds her identity in a man, and her view of life is changed because of her becoming a wife. Counterclaims. How do you know? A lot of scholars will argue that one may not know the meaning of Emily Dickinson's poetry because Emily Dickinson was private, her poems are ambiguous, and she was secluded for many, many years. But because of the ambiguity of her poetry, one can draw multiple interpretations, and because there is no one interpretation, um, one could argue, and as long as the argument is supported, you have a valid case. Social struggle in Dickinson. The social struggle in Dickinson is women's loss of autonomy, patriarchy in the Victorian age, and oppression of women due to the social construct. As I stated about William Blackstone, women they could not own property, they could not make legal contracts, they um, were basically an item to have, and they were dependent upon their husbands. Current social struggle. The social struggle that I chose to identify is Black Lives Matter, Civil Rights Movement, and other reforming movements that encourage blacks in social mobility and awareness of social oppression. And these movements want to exemplify that there's hope and a desire for a change of thinking when it comes to this struggle. Here is my poem that I created, and I highlighted the word silver spoon, prisons, and horizon as my symbols. The three symbols, silver spoon represents privilege, prison represents confinement, and horizon represents hope. And here is my poem. And the reason why I chose this image, this is actually an image of me, and for the longest time, I really didn't like the pigmentation of my skin. So, and that in itself is strength. And I alluded to Martin Luther King, I have a dream speech.